Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It is now today, May 1st. This is episode 28. Yeah, episode 28. Pretty crazy. I was supposed to post last night and I didn't. I just got distracted with TikTok, to be honest. And by the time that I decided I should record, it was like 2 in the morning, maybe a little later. And I decided to just kind of forego it and get some sleep, which I desperately needed. I actually took a power nap today after leaving work, and I feel pretty great right now, to be honest. Waiting outside of Sushi One to get some calamari tempura, shrimp tempura, and a California roll, because sushi sounds amazing, and it's probably one of the best foods ever. But the topic for today is perspective. So I had a really good conversation with Paul yesterday at the shop, and regularly one of us will kind of like reminisce back to earlier times or the early days of the shop where it was barren and empty and nothing was really going on, or very little was going on, and compared to now where today, for example, Friday, it's just kind of nonstop with people coming in from different towns and cities. And also the different perspective that we had when we were both employees at other shops. And I remember when I was an employee and I was looking at sales and stuff and thinking like, how are we not seeing either more of this, or why is there always such a tight, like, I felt like we were always very tight on budget and very careful of what we spent, what we ordered in. And I remember seeing those numbers. I'm like, this is crazy. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do more with how much we bring into the shop. And now that I'm on the other side, now that we're the owners and we see everything and understand everything, it's pretty wild. Granted, looking back, I think I still had a pretty good grasp on everything, and I think that I gotta sneeze. No, I don't. Yet. No, I don't. Okay. But yeah, numbers, business owners. So like, I don't think you realize as an employee the different things you have to pay for in regards to rent and electricity and taxes and more taxes, and the cost of product. Also, like the amount of time that you have versus the time you think you have versus the time you actually have, managing, cleaning. Like, there's so much more that goes into it, and it's all about perspective. Like, there's that one scene in The Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams where he stands on a desk and they ask, why do you think I'm standing on a desk? It's a change of perspective. Sometimes you have to look at life or certain things from a different position, get a different viewpoint, have a different take on it. And that's one of those things that has come with entrepreneurship. It just totally switches something in your head about how you think of things. So like before running the business, having always having had that entrepreneurial mindset, I would see something and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. I can build a business around that. I can make sales. I can make it successful. Granted, I still have that mindset, but now I feel like it's much more realistic. Now I'm much more aware of the costs of it, of, getting the license, which isn't too much, or like thinking about the insurance for it, or the rental space if I need an actual storefront or something, a place to store it. And the same thing, the best way I can relate it to is going from living at your parents' house to renting or owning your own home. At your parents' house, it's nice and cozy and your parents pay for the rent. You don't have to worry about hardly anything. And you don't realize all the expenses that come with owning a home until you get into it. The mortgage payment, the insurance, the lawn care, the water, the electricity, all the upkeep, the yearly taxes, like you just don't see it. And I feel like now that first off, through now renting a home, I don't own a home, I just rent. And now having the business, I think it starts to shift that perspective and makes me think about other things in life from a different perspective. I try to step back as much as I can and try to think of the entire situation as a whole, which is, of course, still difficult. You're not going to realize what actually goes into it until you do it. But yeah, it was just a really good conversation that we had. And the last thing I want to tie into that, I think I talked about this on Twitter, is a lot of things seem very difficult at first if you don't know what you're doing. So like longboarding, I absolutely love it. Looking back, my first week of trying to learn how to longboard, I was terrified. I was terrified that I was going to fall, that I was going to hit my head, that I was going to, twist an ankle, break a leg, whatever, because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how my body was going to react. I didn't know what the feel was going to be like when I was on the board, with the flex of the board, the carving. It was all new to me, just like riding a bike. The thing, though, is once you learn how to ride a bike, it's easy to ride a bike. Once you learn how to drive a car, it's easy to drive a car. Try to take that same approach with everything you do in life. Try to take a step back and observe and try to think of it from different angles. And also remember, you didn't know how to drive a car at one point. You didn't know how to ride a bike at one point. Whatever you're wanting to learn or do, you don't know how to do right now, but once you do it, it's going to be easy. Riding a bike was hard until you rode a bike. So, hope you guys have a good night. I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Oh, subscribe, comment, like, smash the like button, subscribe, whatever, all that stuff. Thanks, guys.